The May 19th, 2025 regular session meeting of the Cinnaminson Township Committee is now called to order. Everyone please rise and join me in saluting the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This meeting is being held in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, Public Law 1975, Chapter 231. Notice of this meeting was published in the Burlington County Times and the Courier Post on January 10th, 2025. Roll call, please, Madam Secretary.
Yes, Mayor. Mr. Conda is absent. Mr. McGill.
Here.
Mr. Segrest.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Horner.
Here.
Mayor Craybill.
Present.
Thank you.
Okay, first on our agenda this evening is I have a proclamation acknowledging Mental Health Awareness Month. I'll read the proclamation for everyone as it's written. Whereas mental health is an essential part of overall well-being, impacting individuals, families, and communities across the country. And whereas more than 1 in 10 youth in the United States experience depression that severely impaired function at school, home, with family, or in their social life in 2024, according to the Mental Health America. And whereas, despite its prevalence, mental health remains shrouded in stigma, preventing many from seeking help. And whereas, early intervention and access to quality care are crucial for managing mental health conditions and improving quality of life. And whereas, Cinnaminson Township has committed itself to supporting mental health and social emotional development. And whereas May is recognized nationally as Mental Health Awareness Month, providing an opportunity to raise awareness, combat stigma, and promote mental health resources. Now, therefore, I, Stephanie Craybill, Mayor of the Township of Cinnaminson, County of Burlington, State of New Jersey, do proclaim the month of May as Mental Health Awareness Month, and encourage residents to educate themselves and others about mental health conditions, treatment options, and resources, challenge stigma by speaking respectfully and inclusively about mental health, seek help if they are struggling with mental health, and encourage others to do the same, and create safe and supportive environments for open conversations about mental health. In witness, therefore, I have hereunto set my hand and caused it to affix the Great Seal of Cinnaminson Township this 19th day of May 2025. Okay, we'll move to committee liaison reports. Mr. Conda is not here this evening. Did he leave a report for tonight?
I have one comment from Mr.
Okay,
Conda.
thank you, Mr. Segrest.
I'll read it with mine. If that's
Okay, perfect.
Then
We'll move right on to you as well, Mr. Segrest, for Public Works, and then you'll have a comment in regards to administration and/or health and senior services.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Cinnaminson's annual cleanup was held on Saturday, April 26th. 93 residents participated and dropped off electronics, car batteries, paint, tires, and motor oil. All of these items will be recycled and repurposed. PSE&G will be performing tree trimming work as part of their vegetation management plan, beginning on or after June 9th and through the middle of July. The work will be undertaken to clear vegetation from the power lines to ensure the reliability of the electric system and to comply with federal and state guidelines. PSE&G recently sent notices to area homeowners, but residents should contact PSE&G Vegetation Management at 732-289-5292. There's also a website, pseg.com/tree trim. May 18th through May 24th is recognized as National Public Works Week. I would like to thank all of the hardworking Public Works employees in Cinnaminson for the work they provide, including maintaining our beautiful parks, roads, trees, stormwater infrastructure, our police fleet, public buildings, recycling center, as well as answering residents' questions and concerns throughout the township. And one last comment, this is what Mr. Conda would be commenting. The township's affordable housing fourth round prospective need obligation with the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs was recently adopted. The planning board's next meeting is on June 9th at 6:30 p.m. The township's affordable housing plan will be discussed at that meeting, and action may be taken. That concludes my report, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Segrist. We'll move on to Committee Member McGill for Public Safety.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Bear with me tonight, please. It's long tonight. Cinnaminson Township Police Department monthly report for April 2025 is as follows. Total incidents responded to 3,659. Total cases pulled 73. Total arrests made 34. Total property checks 1,160. Total motor vehicle stops 974. Total motor vehicle summons issued 212. Total DWI arrests 4. Total MVAs 43. MVAs with injuries 8. Morgan Cemetery, there were 62 property checks, 1 EMS call for a subject that was dehydrated. Approved firearm permits was 14. Approved concealed carry permits was 1. Total handicap permits issued, temporary, 6. There are some notable issues. There's a reminder that motor vehicle theft is an issue throughout the state of New Jersey. Due to technology, suspects can capture the RFI from the key fob located inside a residence, which enables them to unlock the car and start a keyless car. This process takes only about 10 to 30 seconds. The best way to prevent your keyless vehicle from being stolen is to make sure your key fobs, including spares, are never placed in your doorway. Best place to put them is in the center of your residence, near a cabinet. The best way to also put them is a signal blocking pouch called a Faraday bag. In keeping with motor vehicle thefts, the Detective Bureau identified and charged a suspect who has been linked to over 6 motor vehicle burglaries in Cinnaminson. This suspect has been linked to over 30 burglaries in the county. Other notable cases handled in conjunction with the IRS, DEA, and FBI. Cinnaminson officers are part of a special task force that conducted several search warrants at multiple locations during an ongoing money laundering case. The search warrants led to multiple arrests and seizure of money and property. Detective Mark Bedaris handled an allegation of sexual assault where the suspect video recorded the act. Through his investigation, he was able to get the suspect to confess. The suspect was subsequently charged with first-degree sexual assault and lodged in the Burlington County Jail. Detective Mark Bedaris began an investigation into child porn. He was able to identify a suspect and determine that he lived in Chester City in Pennsylvania. Several Cinnaminson officers, along with investigators from the Chester Police Department and the Delaware County Special Victims Unit, conducted a search warrant on the subject's residence. The subject was arrested and charged in Chester City. He was also charged in Cinnaminson on several New Jersey criminal charges as well. On March 17th, subjects broke into a residential garage and attempted to steal a dirt bike and 2 ATVs that were advertised for sale on Facebook Marketplace. Officers responded during the theft, and the subjects left on foot, but were unable to get back in the van in which they came in. Detective Chris Burke processed the van for DNA and fingerprints, which led to the ID of a suspect. With the issuance of a search warrant, Detective Burke was able to uncover evidence inside the van that confirmed the suspect was indeed involved. The suspect was then charged with attempted theft and burglary. After a lengthy investigation, Chris Burke was able to identify and charge a U.S. Postal worker for theft and fraud after positively identifying him as a suspect who sold checks and credit cards through the mail he was responsible for delivering. April 1st, while on break, Sergeant Garrett McLafferty started to choke on his meal. Officer Dominic Ellie immediately recognized that Sergeant McLafferty was choking, so he went to Sergeant McLafferty and initiated the Heimlich maneuver. This dislodged the food particle stuck in Sergeant McLafferty's throat. Officer Dominic Ellie will be awarded the department's life-saving award for his actions. A little bit more. April 27th, units responded to the Children of America building where they caught a suspect in the process of burglarizing the property. This next one we don't usually do, but since it was brought up, calls for service for the 800 block of South Bellevue from 2020 to May 10th, 2025. At the May 5th Township Committee meeting, a suspect made several claims regarding concerns related to South Bellevue Avenue. Below is a breakdown of all the incidents on the 800 block of South Bellevue. The statistics show that the call volume / reports in that area are minimal and show that there are no true issues. Most of the incidents for 820 are for 820 South Bellevue, which is a group home for mentally disabled subjects. The calls for service at that resident in terms of number and the reason for such calls is normal for such a group home. Okay, total incidents responded to was 62. Total police generated was 12. Phone calls for information, 5. Fraud or lost property, 2. Remaining incidents were calls for service, 43. Call for service incident type. Lost dog reports, 3. Loud music, 1. EMS medical calls, 16. EMS medical calls crisis disturbance, 5. Dispute between household members, 1. A domestic, 1. 911 abandoned calls, 1. Animal complaint, 1. Missing persons report from the group home, 13. Fire alarm, 1. Total calls for service, 1. Incidents by address breakdown, 801-0, 804-0, 808, 13. That was 5 phone calls, 3 for lost dog, 1 loud music, 2 attempt to serve summonses, 1 fraud, 1 lost property. 810-11, 0. 814, new construction, 4, and that's a road detail for the new construction. 820, the group home, 36, of which were 16 EMS calls, 13 missing persons, 1 fire alarm, 1 dispute between clients, 5 skip calls. 824, there were 6. All property checks for home closed forms were completed. And last but not least, 828, there was 3 calls, 1 domestic, 1 911 abandoned, and 1 animal complaint. And that's all I have, Madam Mayor.
Okay, thank you, Mr. McGill.
Mayor, may I just ask a question quick?
Sure.
I'm sorry, I must have missed the beginning of that. The period of time for those incidents that you just reported on South Bellevue, what was the period of time that covered?
This is for calls of service from 2020 to May 10th, 2025.
Okay, thank you.
So you're talking about a good 5 years and 5 months, give or take?
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McGill.
Nice question, thank you.
Okay, moving on to Finance and Economic Development, Deputy Mayor Horner.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We do have the 2025 municipal budget presentation this evening, and that will stand as my report later on in the meeting.
Okay, thank you, Deputy Mayor. For Veterans Affairs, Township Committee will be hosting a Memorial Day service this Friday, the 23rd, at 5 p.m. in front of the municipal building. The service will honor those who have made the ultimate sacrifice defending our country. All are invited and encouraged to attend. For Parks and Recreation, this past Saturday, the Township hosted Cinnaminson Day. We had beautiful weather and a fantastic turnout. I want to thank some individuals who helped pull this event together, especially our Parks and Recreation Coordinator, Christine Turner, our entire Public Works Department, and our Police and Fire Departments. I'd also like to thank resident Nicole Bestell and her daughter, who just jumped in and wanted to contribute and volunteer their time for the event. Also, this Saturday, May 24th, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. will be our community-wide yard sale. A list of the participating addresses will be shared on the Township website at the end of the week. Okay, we have Resolution 2025-64, authorizing the 2025 budget to be read by title only. May I have a motion to approve Resolution 2025-64?
Madam Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2025-64.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. May I have a second?
I'll second that, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. McGill. Roll call vote, please, Madam Secretary.
Yes, Mayor. Mr. McGill.
Aye.
Mr. Seagrass.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Horner.
Aye.
Mayor Crable.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, for Resolution 2025-57, Mr. Schuberger, I believe you and Ms. Edmondson have a brief presentation in regards to the municipal budget.
We do, Mayor. Thank you.
Mayor Crable, members of Township Committee, residents, staff, professionals, welcome to the 2025 Cinnaminson Township Municipal Budget Presentation. First, I'd like to thank the Township Committee for giving me and our Chief Financial Officer, Julia Edmondson, the opportunity to share with everyone the details of the proposed the municipal budget, which calls for no tax increase once again to the municipal tax levy. This is a good story, and I'm happy to speak about some of the components of the budget tonight. The first part, and I know I've been doing this for several years now, some of you have been coming, you've seen this before, but I think it's very important to highlight. Tonight we present the budget, and it's an important night for all of us, particularly for residents, but this is an ongoing process throughout the year, as this slide highlights. Without question, this is about funding, but it also represents the backbone of our vision, our goals, and our objectives for this community. And although each municipal budget is adopted annually, it never really ends the process that's before you here on this slide. We take a team approach to the budget process. Township staff, department heads, myself, the finance subcommittee, this year consisting of Mayor Crable and Committee Member Horner, and ultimately the entire Township Committee are all key components of this team and this process. And I just want to thank both Mayor Crable and Committee Member Horner for providing such great guidance this year and making some difficult decisions that a municipal budget requires. It's an important part of what the committee does, and I'm sure at times it's not their favorite to make those critical, tough decisions, but I really appreciate all the guidance this year on that. But I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge the true leader of this effort, our CFO, Julia Edmondson. She's going to have some comments very shortly that's going to explain all the numbers in greater detail. But she holds all of us accountable. I know there's several staff members here behind me and to my left who I know will support that notion very much, that she's the one that holds us accountable. On a side note, I do want to say, over the past 7 years that I've been here, it has not gone unnoticed that some of you, my staff colleagues here, tend to seek approval for major purchases when Julie is out of the office. And we're on to you. I just want to let you know. Thankfully, that is very rare for all of you guys, too. We are a team, so nice try, guys. So, all right, next slide. So this is the public administration paradigm. I brought this up, I think, 3 or 4 years ago. I left it alone for a while. It's a continual work in progress, but it really, I think, shows how we operate and how we're able to present a budget to everybody. And it really emanates from the Township Committee and then to myself and to all the colleagues that I have that work for us here in the township. But in order to adopt balanced budgets, we need to look at the different aspects about how to approach public policy. It's a process, and what good government really does, it determines how to best utilize resources and resolve issues, in a nutshell. Policy incorporates what we have learned from the past and what we aspire for our future. A framework for effective public policy is a prerequisite for successful financial management. I've referenced this, I know, but it does consist of 7 components. I promise I'll go through them as quickly as possible. The first one is philosophy. This is about our vision, our goals, and our core values. I'll get back to this in greater detail in a little bit, but I will say the Township Committee and our residents collectively have made it very clear what is most important. Critical community services, public safety, quality of life, recreation and parks, and affordability. I believe that this budget hits all of those components of our philosophy. The second component is people. People make everything happen. Residents, employees, visitors, volunteers, our business community. All of us make Cinnaminson a very unique and successful community. The partnerships which are established with other public entities, for example, at all levels of government are vital to our success. And it is so refreshing to work in this environment where the appreciation of people emanates from our governing body, which they bring up all the time, in public and in our discussions, privately. The third component, prevention. A commitment to risk management, training, and development are paramount. Several of my colleagues who are in the room tonight sit on the safety committee with me. We have quarterly meetings with our joint insurance fund. Our safety committee, emergency management committee remain active and committed to preparedness. Cinnaminson Township is continually recognized by the Garden State Municipal Joint Insurance Fund for our commitment to safety and security. This has stabilized our premiums and reduced our losses over time. The fourth component is planning. Township committee liaison committees, department head meetings, appointed committees, they're all key components of our planning initiatives. Through our commitment to thoughtful planning, the township has adopted a re-examination of our master plan, several redevelopment plans, an affordable housing plan, soon to be another round, a cannabis land use plan, and we continue to work with the local subcommittee and both county and state officials on the Route 130 corridor plan endorsement, just to name a few. The fifth component is purchasing. As previously referenced, we are dedicated to a year-round budget process, and we do have a skilled, qualified purchasing agent who also happens to be our CFO, Ms. Edmondson. We utilize our financial software platform for purchasing, which includes a multi-step process involving all levels of staff. Public purchasing is a highly technical endeavor, which requires a commitment of the entire team, and we have the entire team on board to make sure that we're effectively making good purchases for this community. The sixth component is productivity. What is this paradigm? What do we actually do? What are we getting? This paradigm that I'm referring to helps us stay on task, excuse me, so we can provide public services and programs, secure quality economic development, ensure customer service, and maintain a stable tax rate. It helps us build equity with all of our stakeholders. And finally, but certainly not the least important component, is partnerships. Creating partnerships with key stakeholders is critical in meeting our vision, our planning initiatives, and our decision-making. Residents, community groups, businesses, other public entities, utility companies, volunteers, employees, they're all part of a network of what I like to call civic engagement, which makes us more efficient and it essentially makes us better. I got through that pretty quick, all right? Not bad. Okay, good. So this picture is actually from Saturday. Community, all those core values and all that paradigm that I just shared with you, I think it's really important and I believe in it. But it's really about the fact that community is at the heart of the whole paradigm and what we're all about. It's what makes Cinnaminson so great. And this is, again, from Saturday, a day that for about 6 days we were feverishly monitoring the weather forecast, and it did not look good. It wound up turning out very nice. But events like this happen because we're able to bring forth good budgets. And it also brings out what's great about Cinnaminson, in that staff, residents, businesses, community groups, they all come together at an event like this and kind of illustrate what makes Cinnaminson so great. But interestingly, or maybe ironically, it's clear that good financial management enables us to coordinate events like this, to hold these types of events. But I also think that having a sense of community at our core and having these events absolutely helps us sustain the township financially as well. The two go hand in hand. Okay, we're getting to get some numbers now, but only a little bit from me. You want to hear it from Julie, I promise. Where does your tax dollar go? So the township is responsible for collecting property taxes and then dispersing that money to all local taxing entities, including the school, the county, municipal open space, and the fire district. We collect them, but we don't get all the money to spend on municipal services. We disperse it to those entities. However, if property taxes are not paid, the township must still fund all of these entities, like the school district and the fire district. Therefore, the township has to budget, for these uncollected taxes in an appropriation that is in this budget that's before the committee today. It's the sole responsibility of the township. No other local taxing entity bears that burden. Thankfully, and it's a big part of why we're able to bring this to you tonight, our collection rate has always been very high, at least for the last 7 years that I've been here, and I think even before that. That makes a huge difference. We have a good tax office who ensures that our collection rate remains very high. So on that note, I'm going to turn it now over to Julia so she can provide some greater insight on some more financial details. Julia?
Thanks.
As Eric said, the township is responsible for collecting all the taxes and dispersing them to the other entities. As you can see, the school district has the largest part of the tax bill at 62%. The 14% is the county, 7% is the fire district, and 16% is the municipal. If we were to eliminate all the municipal services, you would still only save 16% of your tax bill. Some of the 2025 budget highlights: there are no tax increase to this budget. It's maintaining all services. It maintains a stable fund balance, and we are over $345,000 under the state tax levy cap. Some of the 2025 revenue sources: as you can see, property taxes make up the biggest portion of our revenues at 48%. 24% are local revenues, 9% is state aid, and 19% is fund balance. We have created a formula to keep the tax rate stable and still having a healthy fund balance. The impact of the proposed 2025 tax levy on the average residential taxpayer: the value of the average Cinnaminson home is $236,496. It increased $196 over prior year. As you can see, the cost of local services in '24 were $1,458, and the cost for local services in '25 will still be $1,458. How is your $1,458 spent? So the average taxpayer only pays $305 a year for all your police services, which we have the highest number of officers in 15 years. You pay $275 for all your public works, which is a new trash contract, your brush and leaves, snow plowing. You also only pay $45 for parks and recs, which includes all the recreation activities, the maintenance of the field. So you can see you get a lot for your money in Cinnaminson.
She's quick, she's good. Thanks, Julia, and I will take the blame for somehow a 9 got thrown off to the other side of the page on one of those slides. Julia explained what it was for, but it wasn't in the right spot, so. Nobody noticed, and I just brought it to your attention, I know. So, all right, the capital program. So just a quick review of some of our services. Julia mentioned a few as she described what you get for your money here in Cinnaminson. As you heard tonight from some of the reports from committee members, thousands of police calls, a commitment to community policing and programs, ball field upgrades, playground improvements, park amenities, snow removal, leaf and brush collection, plan review, road improvements, business assistance, recreation and parks programs and events, property maintenance, construction inspections, licensing, just to name a few. Those are all the things that we do daily here as services to residents. This year, the capital improvement program includes funding for a variety of initiatives, including park enhancements, safety equipment, stormwater management improvements, land acquisition and development, road resurfacing, equipment and vehicles, a new inclusive playground, and building upgrades. This program that you see up on this slide and what I just described is the result of a continual review of township infrastructure in consultation with our department heads and professionals, residents, and of course our township committee in an effort to meet their vision. In many cases, capital funding merely supplements the total cost of these improvements. For example, road and infrastructure improvements, as well as parks and recreation upgrades, are supplemented by grant funding, which I'll get into in greater detail in a few minutes. New vehicle costs are offset by administrative fees charged to the vendors who require off-duty police support as well. Can't help it. So these are the 3 R's of good government. Many of us are familiar with the 3 R's of education. Although that's important, I'm not referencing reading, writing, and arithmetic. These are about our core values, what makes everything work in Cinnaminson, and what gets us here to share this good news with you. It's responsibility, always owning it, and then learning from our mistakes. It's about relationships, building partnerships with all of our stakeholders, and it's about responsiveness, taking action, not settling for the status quo, and simply being engaged. That is our core, and that is what we work on every day, and that is what we'll continue to work on as a team. The vision and core values are based upon providing services to approximately 18,000 residents as well as our business community. We can't solve all the community concerns overnight. We know that, but our core values keep us on the right track to achieve real action over the course of time. These values and a strong financial position and good public policy provide the opportunity for us to address any challenge which comes before us. Under the leadership of this township committee, we have been able to address the safety, security, health, and wellness of our residents and our employees while still providing services and meeting our goals. And I want to thank you for that. While unprecedented events and economic downturns create difficult challenges, we've seen them in the past, they will come. They can also serve as catalysts for every one of us to be more responsive, to build better relationships, and to respond more with care. Over the past several years, I've witnessed how this team, again, through the vision of this township committee, continues to grow and become better colleagues, better leaders, and better stewards. So responsibility, responsiveness, and relationships, the 3 R's of good government and the 3 R's of what this team and this community is all about. Okay, looking ahead. The future is bright, but the future is unforeseen, so we do the best we can. Based upon the fiscal management that we've described here tonight of the past several years, no increase for the last 9. Thoughtful planning and all the core values, I believe the municipal tax rate is projected to remain stable, as it has, again, for the last 9 years, while continuing to maintain a healthy fund balance. A healthy fund balance is a critical component of budgets because it ensures that the township can continue to provide services in the event of an unforeseen circumstance or economic downturn. For a variety of reasons, not many municipalities are able to stabilize their respective tax rates. Many are going up, and those who do are often required to significantly deplete their fund balance in order to do so. In fact, other public entities may even take additional handouts and additional aid and continue to raise their respective tax levies. That is not the case for the Cinnaminson Municipal Tax Levy, not here. The Cinnaminson team, under the leadership of this group, actively and aggressively seeks grant funding, quality ratables, shared service opportunities, and prudent fiscal policy to maintain this position. Whoops. And speaking of grant funding, I'm happy to report that the township received bids late last week for the award of a contract for improvements to Union Landing Road, which in fact includes sidewalks. This project was funded through a New Jersey Department of Transportation grant secured by the governing body in the amount of $1.1 million. Bids are currently being reviewed, and the contract should be awarded very soon. Also tonight, excuse me, the governing body will be authorizing a grant application to DOT Local Transportation Projects Fund for improvements to Willow Drive and its associated culvert structure for Pompeston Creek. This application is in the amount of $1,278,000. In addition, last week the township learned that we were awarded a grant from DOT in the amount of $850,000 for the resurfacing of Industrial Highway. A grant award in the amount of $239,000 was previously secured for the reconstruction of Pheasant Run Drive as well. Finally, the township, not finally yet. Also, a grant award in the amount of $525,000 was recently secured for the reconstruction of Pheasant Run Drive. And then finally, the township works closely with Senator Singleton's office on securing funding on a variety of initiatives, including energy-efficient lighting upgrades to public facilities within our township. We appreciate that partnership we have with the senator, and it has helped this community out greatly. In summary, just for the grant part, the township is applying for grant funding, securing grant funding, and awarding contracts continually throughout the year. These projects embody the township's commitment to enhancing our transportation network, our pedestrian safety, and dedication to stormwater improvements. Of course, there are uncontrollable factors: inflation, unfunded mandates, my favorite, and extraordinary events. There are no guarantees, and history has shown that tax increases are sometimes necessary. But the fact of the matter is that the planning of this township committee has placed our community in an outstanding financial position. To meet that goal of high-level fiscal management, the township will continue to evaluate municipal operations, to stabilize expenses while maintaining services, continuing quality economic development and business growth, continue to seek grant funding, of course, and shared service opportunities. In short, a stable tax rate only comes with great effort and thinking outside of the proverbial box. And I think another thought that can't be overlooked, in our society, and it's not new, the greatest interest is often self-interest. This governing body operates under the notion that the greatest interest is the public interest. That's how they operate. That's how we operate. That will always be the case. So this budget plan is not about one person. Julie and I, we get to share the good news, and it's great, and we're happy to do it. We're able to share that story, but the budget plan is about this whole community. It's about everyone here tonight. It's about every resident who might watch. It's about everyone who calls Cinnaminson home. That's what we're here for. And I think understanding that really makes a huge difference. So one final note, and the Township Committee is aware of this. The Township was advised Friday, that the DCA, Department of Community Affairs, had some administrative comments on our budget. We get reviewed routinely as required, which requires that there is a budget amendment. It does not impact all the great news that I share with you. It does not impact our tax rate. Municipal taxes will stay maintained at 0.615. Therefore, there's no action to be taken tonight, Mayor, as we discussed. The budget amendment will be on the June 2nd meeting for adoption, but everything that everyone heard tonight remains the same, and it's what we're doing and what we will continue to do. So finally, Mayor Crable, committee, thank you once again. Appreciate it. We present you this no tax increase budget very happily, and we thank you for your continued leadership. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
Schubiger.
Mr. Schubiger.
Thank you, Ms. Edmondson.
Thank you.
All right. right, may I have a motion to open public comment on Resolution 2025-57?
I'll make that motion, Madam Mayor.
Okay, I will second. Voice vote, please. Aye.
Aye.
Nays, abstention. Public comment on Resolution 2025-57 is open. Please come forward and state your name and address for the record.
Yeah, come on.
For the budget, yep, budget resolution.
Sorry.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Since we were talking about the budget,
I'm sorry to interrupt. I know
Oh,
we
I know,
know
I
who
know.
you are, but
my fault. I'll try it again. Good morning, everyone. Evening. My name, Jamela Shepherd, 215 Front Street, Palmyra, New Jersey, speaking on behalf of the Civic Club of Riverton, East Riverton, and Palmyra. Since we're talking about the budget tonight, I would like to maybe ask, could this be put under maybe park enhancement, under capital funds maybe, to be considered? The question, the talk of the umbrellas. We have beautiful umbrellas in the park over two of the tables, but it's not covering all four of the tables. So the most that the sun is going to hit, it's never going to hit the one side. We never had a really issue with this when we had the trees, but when the trees were taken down, you put up the beautiful tables and benches for us to sit around the table, but we have not enough shade. So could that be revisited? And maybe a bike rack, instead of kids having the bikes thrown over the court or near the court. And could this be revisited also? The older kids ask for a higher sliding board. We have like a nice little mid-sized one for the little people, like up to maybe 8 years old. But if they come over there with their older sister or somebody like that, they like to slide down too, just a little bit higher. And could that be revisited? And the good news, thank you, Township, the good news is, thank you, about the sidewalks. I know they're out for bids. How long did bids take, really?
No,
6
ma'am.
months, 2 months, tomorrow?
So we actually, thanks, Mayor. We received the bids
Oh, great.
last week.
Thank you.
So now that the job is of the professional staff to review the bids, make sure they're good bids, they're responsible bids, and we will bring it forth to the committee to award the contract for that work so that we can then begin the work.
Approximately how many months?
I really can't say.
What about this year?
Really can't say.
Come on. Okay, the only reason why I'm saying this, and everybody knows this that comes to the meeting, I thought 2022 was great, because that's when the resolution 2022-146 came. And I was really hyped up about that. And then October 16th, 2024 comes, and then we have a meeting with you and Joe. And I'm really hyped up because now I got this thing in my head about, oh my goodness, April 25th. And I understand there were delays, which were explained. So, please tell them that 2026 is too far away. And the reason why I'm saying that, because I'm wearing this thing here now, and I don't want to have to use it before the sidewalk gets done. So please, I know you're doing your best. I know it takes time. Something that I did not realize in 2022, that it would take this long. I never knew the process would be years. And that's coming out here has been explained to me. So if you could just work on that a little faster. And one more thing here. I lost my page here. Let's see. Umbrella for the park, the bike rack, the larger sliding board.
Ms. Shepherd, just wanted to remind you that this is just for resolution, this is just for the budget resolution.
Oh, well,
We'll have public comment later on.
oh,
too,
I
if you have
thought
additional
it was the time to add it to the budget.
No,
No.
Oh, that's why I want, should I come up?
Okay.
Most
Do
of
I
the
have to
stuff
come
you
back?
talked about was budget relevant. Yeah.
So I don't have to come back and say it all again?
You do
No.
not.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Ms. Shepherd.
You do not. Thank you.
Okay. All right, seeing no one else come forward, may I have a motion to close public comment on Resolution 2025-57?
I'll make that motion, Madam Mayor.
Okay, may I have a second?
I'll second it, Madam Mayor.
Okay, voice vote, please. Aye.
Aye.
Nays, abstentions, public comment is closed. Okay, moving on to resolution amendment introduction. Resolution 2025-71, 2025 municipal budget amendment to be advertised in the Burlington County Times. Public hearing to be June 2nd, 2025 at 6:30 PM. As Mr. Schubager referenced, the township received administrative comments from the Department of Community Affairs upon their review of the budget. Therefore, the budget needs to be amended to reflect the required changes. However, just a reminder, the tax rate will remain at .615. The new public hearing on the amended budget will be on June 2nd. May I have a motion to introduce Resolution 2025-71?
Madam Mayor, I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. May I have a second?
I'll second that, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. McGill. Roll call vote, please, Madam Secretary.
Yes, Mayor. Mr. McGill.
Aye.
Mr. Seagrass.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Horner.
Aye.
Mayor Craybill.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay. Ordinance 2025-10, authorizing capital improvements, appropriating $2,785,000, authorizing the issuance of general obligation bonds in the aggregate principal amount of up to $2,645,750. The Finance Committee met to discuss proposed capital improvements. The total amount to be funded is $2,785,000. The required down payment to the appropriated in the operating budget is $140,000, and the amount of the bond anticipation note is $2,645,750. May I have a motion to open public comment on ordinance 2025-10?
I'll make that motion, Madam Mayor.
Okay, I will second the motion. Voice vote, please. Aye.
Aye.
Nays, abstentions. Public comment on ordinance 2025-10 is now open. Please come forward and state your name and address for the record. Okay, seeing no one come forward, I will make a motion to close public comment on ordinance 2025-10. May I have a second?
Madam Mayor, I'll second that.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Voice vote, please. Aye.
Aye.
Nays, abstentions. Public comment is closed. May I have a motion to approve ordinance 2025-10?
Make that motion, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. McGill. May I have a second?
Madam Mayor, I'll second that.
Thank you, Mr. Horner. Roll call vote, please, Madam Secretary.
Yes, Mayor. Mr. McGill.
Aye.
Mr. Seagrass.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Horner.
Aye.
Mayor Craybill.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay. Ordinance 2025-11, 2025 salary ordinance. In accordance with past practice and commensurate with the adoption of the municipal budget, Ms. Edmondson has recommended that the salary ordinance be amended to address anticipated 2025 salaries. May I have a motion to open public comment on ordinance 2025-11?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Segrist. I will second. Voice vote, please. Aye.
Aye.
Nays, abstentions. Public comment on ordinance 2025-11 is now open. Please come forward and state your name and address for the record. Okay, seeing no one come forward, I will make a motion to close public comment on ordinance 2025-11. May I have a second?
Madam Mayor, I'll second that.
Thank you, Mr. Horner. Voice vote, please. Aye.
Aye.
Nays, abstentions. Okay, public comment is closed. May I have a motion to approve ordinance 2025-11?
I'll make that motion, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. McGill. May I have a second?
I'll second that, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Horner. Roll call vote, please, Madam Secretary.
Yes, Mayor. Mr. McGill.
Aye.
Mr. Seagrass.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Horner.
Aye.
Mayor Craybill.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to the consent agenda. Resolution 2025-65, authorized purchase of trash carts through Sourcewell. Public Works Superintendent Kevin Gaunt recommends the purchase of residential trash containers from Schaefer in the amount of $10,714.75 through the Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Agreement. Ms. Edmondson has determined that sufficient funding is available for this purchase and recommends that the governing body authorize the award of contract. Resolution 2025-66, authorize participation in fuel card program through Sourcewell. Mr. Gaunt recommends that the township participate in the WEX Sourcewell Government Fleet Card Program in the amount not to exceed $75,000 through the Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Agreement. The program will utilize to fuel municipal vehicles. Ms. Edmondson has determined that sufficient funding is available for the purpose and recommends that the governing body authorize the award of contract. Resolution 2025-67, refund of duplicate tax payment, Block 307.04, Lot 9, Qual C065. Tax collector Sandy Root has recommended this refund due to the payment being made by both the property owner and the mortgage company. Resolution 2025-68, authorize award of contract for purchase of Scorpion I want to say authenticator. Attenuator? Okay, sorry guys, attenuator.
Okay.
This is the first I've ever even heard the word attenuator,
It's
which
a
I'm going to
safety
say it wrong again, so.
Just go with
I'm going to say safety trailer. Okay, Mr. Gaunt recommends the purchase of a Scorpion safety trailer for traffic, for state contract vendor traffic safety service in the amount of $31,408.89. The unit will assist Public Works Department employees in performing roadside work and enhance the safety of the employees, residents, pedestrians, and motorists. Ms. Edmondson has determined that sufficient funding is available for this purpose and recommends the governing body authorize the award of the contract for the safety trailer. Resolution 2025-69, authorize change order, final payment, release of performance bond, and approval of maintenance bond for Perry Road Guardrail Improvements Project. Township Engineer Remington and Vernick has deemed this project substantially complete and recommends a change order in the amount of $532.60, which reduces the final contract amount to $53,202.40. Payment in the amount of $53,202.40. Release of the performance guarantee in the amount of $53,735, and the posting of a 2-year maintenance guarantee in the amount of $53,202.40. Chief Financial Officer Purchasing Agent Julia Edmondson has deemed that sufficient funding is available for this purchase and recommends that the governing body authorize the final payment. Resolution 2025-70, authorize submission of application and execution of grant contract for local transportation projects fund, fiscal year 2025, reconstruction of Willow Drive Culvert Project. This resolution will allow the township to file a grant application to the fiscal year 2025 NJDOT Local Transportation Projects Fund in the amount of $1,278,941 for improvements to Willow Drive and its associated culvert construction of the Pompeston Creek. That's the end of our consent agenda. I will make a motion to open public comment on the consent agenda items only. May I have a second?
Madam Mayor, I'll second that.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Horner. Voice vote, please. Aye.
Aye.
Nays, abstention. Public comment is open on the consent agenda items only. Please come forward and state your name and address for the record.
Jermella Shepherd, 215 Front Street, Palmyra, New Jersey, speaking on behalf of the Civic Club of Riverton, East Riverton, Palmyra. Could you explain the part about the affordable housing? How many units?
That's not part of the consent agenda.
Okay.
Sorry.
Madam Mayor, I actually had a question regarding the consent agenda
Please.
items. On the Willow Drive, if I could, you don't mind, I direct this
Go
to
right ahead, direct it
to
to,
Mr. Gaunt. That culvert, would that kind of hopefully prevent some people living in that area from possibly having their cars lost to major floods, things of that nature? Just asking. Just asking. Just that, or two, one or two vehicles possibly.
or an additional one.
Oh, yeah, or an additional, possibly maybe three.
3 total vehicles.
You won't make any promises? Gotcha. Understood.
Good question.
Okay. Seeing no one else come forward, may I have a motion to close public comment on the consent agenda?
I'll make that motion, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Segrist. I will second. Voice vote, please. Aye.
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 Nays, abstentions. Public comment is now closed on the consent agenda. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Make that motion, Madam Mayor, approve the consent agenda.
Thank you, Mr. McGill. May I have a second?
I'll second that, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Segrist. Roll call vote, please, Madam Secretary.
Yes, Mayor. Mr. McGill.
Aye.
Mr. Segrest.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Horner.
Aye.
Mayor Craybill.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, approval of the minutes for both May 5th, 2025 and May 5th, 2025 closed. May I have a motion to approve both minutes, May 5th, 2025 and May 5th, 2025 closed?
Madam Mayor, I will make a motion to approve the minutes May 5th, 2025 and May 5th, 2025 closed, please.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I will second. Roll call vote, please, Madam Secretary.
Yes, Mayor. Mr. McGill.
Aye.
Mr. Segrest.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Horner.
Aye.
Mayor Craybill.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, has everybody gotten a chance to review the bills?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, may I have a motion to approve the bill list?
Make a motion to approve the bill list, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. McGill. May I have a second?
I'll second that, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Segrist. Roll call vote, please, Madam Secretary.
Mr. McGill.
Aye.
Mr. Segrest.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Horner.
Aye.
Mayor Craybill.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, are there any comments from our staff or professionals this evening?
Have I reached my maximum for the night, Mayor?
You have not.
Not
You're
yet.
always welcome to speak.
I just want to add to the mayor's comments about Cinnaminson Day. And Christine Turner, our recreation coordinator, did a tremendous job bringing all that together with a team. And so many people were involved. I like to see colleagues working together on those types of events because it is overbearing for one or two people to handle it. And that's what we did. So I want to thank Christine for leading that charge, but also, as you mentioned, Public Works, Fire, Police, other employees. We had our CFO ordering things the day before online to get there for the day. So everybody kind of pitched in. So just want to say thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? No? Okay. All right, we'll move on to public comment. I'll make motion to open public comment. May I have a second?
I'll second that, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Segrist. Voice vote, please. Aye.
Aye.
Nays, abstentions. Public comment is now open. Please come forward and state your name and address for the record.
Good evening, everyone. Renee Oler Davis, 2108 Hunter Street. First, I'd like to say congratulations on the budget. It's really a relief to know that our taxes aren't going to go up. Secondly, I'd like to say thank you for the cleanup on Union Landing. It looks a lot better, and I look forward to continuing to work with you on that. I know it's a process, and I know Julie will probably find us a grant somewhere to continue to do so. But even that little bit of having the trash and the lawn mowed has made a difference. It really looks a lot different. So, and that's all I have this evening.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Davis.
Mayor, may I just make a comment
Please.
on that? So, Ms. Davis, I appreciate those sentiments. Regarding the budget, I just want to make sure everyone understands regarding taxes, we're here to discuss the municipal tax levy, the 16% that Ms. Edmondson referred to, that will not be going up. We can't speak for the other public entities. So when you say your taxes aren't going up, I can't stipulate to that, but your municipal taxes, what we're responsible for, will not be going up. Okay. You guys got us asking for stuff, I tell you. Yeah, we'll work with them too. I'm just kidding. We try to take care of what we're responsible for. I think we're doing a pretty good job. I just wanted to make sure you understood that, that's all.
Mike Goins, 100 Purnell. Are we, you alluded to paving, Eric, are we doing paving in roads? And I hope Thomas gets done this year, if we're doing it.
So the answer is, we have put in the capital program several $100,000 in this year's capital improvement program. I don't have the road improvement plan in front of me, Mr. Goins, but we approved that. You might have been here about 3-4 years ago. PSE&G's work kind of moved all that around.
Right.
So we're trying to follow along that plan that we approved in order of how the engineer graded them. One of us can give you a call to let you know.
Yeah,
when
Thomas is really getting bad.
Okay. It may or may not be. I don't, again, want to guarantee that. But we are spending, between the grants that I outlined tonight, there was over $3.5 million worth of grant funding that we're going to be using. And then there's $750,000 in this capital program just for road resurfacing as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Goins. Ms. Shepherd, did you want, this is open public comment.
This is the last time.
Yep, last time.
Okay, you're going to have to excuse me for getting up at the incorrect time. But
No, you're
because
fine.
that's
It gets
really
confusing. It's very
I really
confusing.
don't understand about the point earlier about the affordable housing. I remember last time it went from like 92 to 87 units.
Close.
So where are we now?
Yeah. Do you want to give a little, I mean, exactly?
You don't
where-
mind, I can give a little
Yeah.
overview, and also, Mr. Mitten's in the room, when I make a mistake, he'll correct me. But it's 86 units that was agreed upon with the state. Mr. Mitten, am I correct? 80, is it 89? We had to go, we wanted 86 when we went through everything, we agreed to 89. So it's 89 units, thank you. Correct, thank you. So it's 89, that's the number. As we explained, we adopted a resolution approving that number like a month ago.
Yes.
The next phase is to come up with a plan to meet that number. So what's going to go before the planning board, I believe it was June 9th, right, Mr. Seagrass? Yes. Is potential, an action plan to decide the different ways that those 89 units can be met with proper planning, and to adopt a plan potentially at that meeting that the township is going to have to follow for the next several years to come up with ways for the 89 units.
Okay.
But I just want to, I don't mean to cut you off, but before you ask or before you comment, when we say 89 units as far as affordable housing plan, that does not mean 89 structures will be built next year. And I'm not saying you're going to say that. I'm saying that I've heard that from others in the community. It
Yeah.
means that 89 units have to be accounted for through good planning. So it could be a certain portion within the township is designated as an area that can be utilized for that purpose. It could be that certain homes can be repurposed. Some of the homes that have been brought up here in the past that have had some issues, or, you know, in one case it was a fire, right? I mean, all the different ways that those 89 units, it's a plan, it's not actual construction. And then also, it's not the township's responsibility. Me and Mr. Saginari are not going to go out and swing hammers and build those buildings. Some people think the townships construct the buildings. You're not going to do it, right?
We're not doing it.
Okay. It's, we identify potential uses, and then developers or nonprofits come in and say, we're going to take that and do X, Y, and Z. So it's a plan, and it takes a while. I know you don't like that. But it's not overnight, and it's something that might be entertained at that meeting, and that's why Mr. Seagrass let you know, because that is a planning board function, which, as you know, is a separate body.
Separate.
I hope that helps.
Okay, you know.
A little bit.
You know the units that were built on Bellevue in East Riverton?
Correct.
Now, I think that was what, 6?
Yeah, we got 6 credits for that, Mike? Yeah, six.
So eventually you could build a few more like that, along with other ideas.
That could be one way
could
that
be
we
one
try
way,
to,
right?
that could be one, Mayor, do you mind if I keep talking?
keep
Okay.
going, yeah.
That could be one method of achieving those 89 units, working with a nonprofit or with Habitat to repurpose existing land or homes, yes.
Okay. And my other question was, it seems sort of tight, but they each have enough room? Because it seems sort of tight. When you go down there, it's like they took one lot and put 3 things on there.
You're not the first to express that
I'm
concern.
just-
We've heard
it's just
that.
a question
Yes,
that
we've
they
heard
told
that
me to
here, in
ask.
fact. And I
probably
understand.
missed that
All I
meeting.
can tell you is that the construction of those units are in accordance with all zoning and planning regulations of the township. It had to go through an extensive process to be approved. Engineers, planners, attorneys all went through all that. That's their job.
Okay.
I'm not saying you have to agree with it, of course, but it wasn't something that all of a sudden happened.
Okay.
And it was heard publicly, and people were able to go and comment on that
Okay.
project at the time.
So now when June 9th comes and we go to the planning board, this is where we should be talking about this, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You can express your concern here, but that's the place, that's the body that decides what the plan is going to be.
Okay,
So I would definitely, yes.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Shepherd.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Shepherd.
All right, seeing no one else come forward? Okay, may I have a motion to close public comment?
I'll make that motion, Madam Mayor, close public comment.
Thank you, Mr. McGill. May I have a second?
Madam Mayor, I'll second that.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Voice vote, please. Aye.
Aye.
Nays, abstentions, public comment is now closed. Do we have any comments from any committee members this evening?
Not for me, Madam Mayor.
I'd just like to reiterate what you guys said earlier about the Cinnaminson Day. It was a fantastic day. The weather was great. A lot of people came out, and it was well-run. And thank you for everybody that put their heads together and got it and made it happen. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Of course.
Byproduct of going last. It's all been said.
Oh, there's stuff, you can say
Come on,
anything.
Paul, say something.
Say something? Oh, I will tell you something. At Cinnaminson Day, I ran into a business owner who said he's owned a business on Route 130 for 19 years. He's never once attended an event at Cinnaminson, and he can't imagine that he has missed the last 18 years
Wow.
because he thought the event was fantastic, and he got to interact with so many residents. He said it was the best $20 he'd ever spent.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Nice.
I like positive feedback. So I guess I'm last. So our resolution tonight introduced the 2025 municipal budget. Why we all collectively take pride in this, I just wanted to make sure that I extended an extra thank you to Mr. Schubiger and Ms. Edmondson on their hard work. You guys do a fantastic job all year long. You make sure, all the i's are dotted and the t's are crossed, and our residents reap the benefits of that. So thank you very much for your hard work.
Well deserved.
Okay, guess we're at that point of the night for adjournment. I will make a motion to adjourn the meeting. May I have a second?
I'll second that, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. McGill. Voice vote. Aye.
Aye.
Nays, abstentions. All right, this meeting is adjourned. Next meeting is Monday, June 2nd, 2025 at 6:30 PM.